We had been hearing about Mafia within the Uganda government. All the Mafia saga began a long time ago. In 2005, the former Vice President, 𝙁𝙊𝙇𝙇𝙊𝙒, came out and told us that the Mafia were after him. They were even taking photos of his banana plantation, houses, properties. And most of us didn't take it seriously. We didn't take it seriously. But then, the Mafia saga in Uganda kept on. And you hear so-and-so had been shot by the Mafia. So-and-so had been poisoned by the Mafia. So-and-so have just disappeared because of the Mafia. But nobody took that seriously. You see, when the accusation is coming from the people within the government itself, then we could all say there's no smoke without fire. First you have to lit the fire, and then the smoke will come out. Why are these people claiming that they are Mafia in the government? They are a part of the government. For God's sake, 𝙁𝙊𝙇𝙇𝙊𝙒 was the Vice President of Uganda. He was in the government. He should have come out very clearly and told us the names of those Mafia in the government. Recently, the Speaker of Parliament, who is also the highest woman in the country on the list of the government, she's working for the government as the Speaker of Parliament, echoed the same word, Mafia in the government. After her, I wonder, you are a part of the government. If there are Mafias in the government, call them by name so that we know who they are. The later 𝙁𝙊𝙇𝙇𝙊𝙒, who was shot dead in Kampala, also claimed that he was denied access to the State House. And a few weeks later, he was dead. All these people who are coming out speaking about the Mafia are the people who are within the state. And now, we have a state minister for investment who is also a part of the state, coming out claiming that the Mafia within the state are after her. Evelyn Anita, come out and tell us the names of those Mafia. It is your right as a citizen of Uganda. If somebody threatens your life, you come out and you say, these are the people threatening my life. I was surprised that the Prime Minister of Uganda, Dr. Rugunda, was in Parliament recently. And they asked him, said, Dr. Rugunda, is there Mafia in the state, within the government? Dr. Rugunda said, no, there are no Mafia in the government. That is too easy, Prime Minister Rugunda. You are a Prime Minister of Uganda. And when it comes to matters of death and life, or life and death, you have to be very serious, because I think you have not used the title of your office properly recently. You see, as the Prime Minister of Uganda, you cannot come out so easily with an answer that, no, there is no mafia in the government. That is not going to satisfy anybody in Uganda or outside Uganda. You are the Prime Minister of Uganda. You are the Prime Minister of every Ugandan. What you should have done, Mr. Prime Minister, you should have asked Parliament to set up a commission of inquiry so that we find out, we investigate, and clear the air about mafia in the government of Uganda. The title you carry, Mr. Prime Minister, is a title that has to be respected. So if I were you, I would go back to the Parliament and ask them to set up a commission of inquiry so that we know who are killing people, who are threatening people, who are terrorizing Uganda. You see, this thing has been going on for a very long time, and it seems as if nobody wants to talk about it. When it comes out 2-3 days, and then we shut up. We have here, for God's sake, a Speaker of Parliament who comes out and say, my life is in danger, there's a mafia in the government. The Vice President of Uganda who comes out and say, the mafia after me. And we have a junior Minister of State for Investment who comes out and say, my life is in danger. And then you just come out of Parliament with the word, no mafia in the government. It's too cheap. Mr. Prime Minister, there is a very cheap answer. It is time you live up to the title you are carrying as a Prime Minister. It is a time you ask those people who have been claiming, most of them are members of the NRM. Most of them are working for the state. Most of them know exactly what is going on, but they want to beat around the bush. They don't want to tell us the truth. So now it's time, come out, let's hear the truth from you people. And to the former Vice President of Uganda, Gilbert Bukenya, it is time you come out and tell us the truth. The Speaker of Parliament, Kedaga, it is time you mention names before it is too late. And you, the State Minister for Investment, you know the name of those people? Don't carry it in your grave. Just come out and tell the world so that we know who the people are going around terrorizing Ugandans. You know, everybody has right. You have right. I have rights. Ugandans have rights. And we should not shut up. We should wake up and say, guys, I can't allow this to happen again and again and again and again. It all started long before 2005 when Bukenya came out. And all of you walking around there knows the truth, but you shut your mouth. You don't want to tell the truth. All of you in the government, as long as you are still eating, you don't want to mention a word about those mafia in the government. But this brave ladies and gentlemen who came out and talked about mafia in the government, I applaud you. I hope you live to see the fruit of your truth. But those who kept quiet, simply because you are eating, when the time comes, you will be responsible for the death of so many people in the name of mafia. You know who the mafia are, and you're keeping quiet. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it, it's okay. But then you are accomplice. You are also a criminal because you knew it, you didn't say it. So when the time comes, even if you go, you'll take it in your grave with you. Dear Ugandans, we cannot allow this conspiracy theory to go on and on and on. Today somebody comes and say mafia in the government. Tomorrow somebody's come and say mafia in the government and they're killed or they die. It is time the parliament must set up a commission of inquiry. Let's find out the truth about the mafioso in the government. Thank you. I'll be back.